As you can see, the enemy's cavalry is attempting to perform some kind of flanking action. Hopefully that's not going to stop us from doing what we need to do here. And I'm going to get my infantry into a nice shield wall formation and move them into the front of our archers. As you can see, the archers are all in a really nice loose formation. It is allowing them the utmost kill zones. And hopefully they're going to be able to completely tear apart the opponent while our cavalry deals... Oh, hello. Hello and welcome back to the Ronin. We have a vote for the newly conquered fief of Razich. We've been here before, actually. Yeah. The Tetsujin have taken this town previously, and what happened was they gave it to a vassal who then defected over to the Aserai, which basically made every single kind of effort null and void, and that was obviously not very good. So I'm very much thinking that I might... this is not going to work. As you can see, I can barely make it. 36% versus 45%. It is highly unlikely that they will offer this to me as a result of this. So I'm actually not sure. Oh, I could give it to this guy, but even so, if I give it to that guy, it's more than likely he's going to leave as well. So this is actually quite problematic. Let me see. Is she the leader? Can I tell whether she's the leader of her own clan? Because if she's the... Yes, she is indeed the leader of her own clan. Okay, that's pretty bad. Is this guy the leader? Yeah, okay. He's the leader of his own clan as well. This is not going to go well. Let me actually just see. Who? What kind of things does she own? She otherwise owns Horoshi, which is... I'm not entirely sure where that is, to be honest. Is that is a town, right? Yeah. That looks to be a town, indeed. So I think it is probably a better idea to give it to this guy because he only has a castle and that should be relatively easy for us to take back if he does indeed defect. So I'm going to support this guy. Oh, it didn't make any difference. Look at that. It didn't make any difference. I gave it to the other guy, or I attempted to try and give it to the other guy, and we were beating them by 1%, but it still didn't make any difference at all. Okay, well, that's actually kind of sad. I was very much hoping that we'd be able to impact the decision-making of whoever it is. I guess it's Hanzo, right? It's probably Hanzo. Anyway, I'm going to just be attempting to gain as many units as I can. Oh, yeah, I forgot to put all these prisoners in my... yes, I forgot to put them in my garrison because I was mainly taking units out of my garrison rather than putting units into the dungeon. That's basically what happened there. Alright, well, that doesn't make that much difference because, as one of you rightly pointed out, or maybe a couple of people at this point, actually, it would probably be a good idea for me to sell a couple of prisoners to a tavern so I can gain some roguery skill, because I really don't have any roguery skill. As you can see right here, I've got just 10. That's just absolutely pitiful, isn't it? Yeah, that is pretty awful. So we are going to literally just be ransoming our prisoners. As you can see, 14 roguery skill. Obviously, roguery is, I think in 1.5.5, not fully fleshed out, but it's more fleshed out than engineering, that's for sure. Anyway, I think the developers are actually doing a lot of work on engineering, and that's why it's taking a while for them to implement the new perks. They want them to be balanced, you know. They want them to be balanced. They want them to work out really, really nicely, and so they're not rushing things too much. Anyway, let's see whether we can do a little bit of siege tower here and there, battering rams, and then we'll just get some trebuchets up and running. Look how fast we build stuff. It's amazing. Can't believe it. Anyway. Hopefully they're not yes, also something I've got to report. Hanzo got himself taken prisoner, if you can believe it. Yeah, I was actually kind of a bit surprised by that, to be fair, because I thought to myself, surely Hanzo can never get himself taken prisoner. He's just such an absolute monster in combat. But no, he did actually get himself taken prisoner by Farina, who is obviously from the Aserai, because the Western Empire actually made peace with us, by the way, so we're no longer at war against two different factions, we're just at war against the Aserai by themselves now. So what I'm going to do is, as I did before, we're basically just going to be doing a siege, just going to try and take out as many units as we possibly can before we even head in. And if we can take down the walls, then that is all the better. But if we can't, and we get beset upon by a very large army indeed, then obviously we're just going to make a good go of it, I suppose you could say. And we'll just try to get in there, do as much damage as possible, maybe capture the thing, I would very much like to capture it. Oh, it seems like ballistas are really fighting back here as well. Not a big fan of that. They're also damaging all of my trebuchets at exactly the same time. It's quite frustrating to see that, to be fair. Not entirely sure why that happens. But you could see that. Did you see exactly what they did? They just literally got all of the trebuchets down to really low critical HP, and then they started killing them all off at the same time, and basically that makes it so much harder for me to get my siege equipment back up and running. It's actually amazing that they did that. I think it's random though, surely. I think it is indeed random what the defending siege equipment actually targets, but it doesn't look like it, you know? It looks like they're being directed by some master tactician or something like that. But they really did a great job. Anyway, let's have a look what's going on here. Oh. Is this me? No. Okay. I think we should be alright. But now here's... This is what's really funny about this. These guys decided to run away, even though I was here besieging this. AI at its finest, once again. And they're kind of drawing this guy to me, and then leaving him. Like that guy on the outskirts of the combat area who didn't get drawn into this particular fight. He's kind of a, he's kind of a bit of a scoundrel, you know? He's not actually wanting to help us. He's just kind of trying to be opportunistic and doesn't actually want to support his fellow vassals in combat. And I gotta say, I feel like he should get skewered on my polearm. That sounds like a good idea. Try and take him out. Anyway, let's see what I can do here. Whoa, they got a significant amount of cavalry right here. Got to be a little bit careful about this. That is actually kind of harsh. All right. Okay, I'm going to put my guys into shield wall formation as soon as I possibly can. Let's get my cavalry over here as well. I have a pretty decent amount of horse archers now, by the way, as well, because I've been doing a little bit of leveling up into horse archers in comparison to just regular foot archers, because I feel like we have a lot of foot archers right now, and I think it would be a good idea to try and maximize our diversity in our army composition. That really makes a big difference in our efficiency, and I am awful with this weapon. I really got to get a Naginata. I really do. Look at this. Okay, okay, that was... Oh, okay, fine. All right, that was decent. Not bad. Not bad, if I do say so myself. Okay, let's tell my infantry to charge in now as well, and let's see if I can get a little bit more stabby stab going on. Nice. That was a good little stabby stab right there, and another one. Oh, very good. Right through the heart, if ever I saw it, I believe. Anyway, we're getting a bunch of companions leveling up as well. It seems like the enemy's archers are way too far away to actually assist them, which is the main reason why we're having such luck right here. Get them! I've got to get these heavy cavalry killed. They are some of the better horse archers in the game. As you can see, this guy is absolutely murdering me right now. And they're very, very accurate and decent at what they do. Gonna tell my own archers to charge in now. Bear in mind that they will not switch to their melee weapons unless there is an opponent in melee range. They will just merely move towards the opponent to get into effective range for their bows and all manner of other things, throwing weapons or whatever. And that is what they'll do. So don't worry about it. You know, I know a lot of people seem to think that when you charge archers, they're just going to literally charge straight on into the enemy. But that is actually not the case. They do just go into effective range and then they start shooting again. As you can see right here, these guys are stopping, shooting, then moving, stopping, shooting, and then moving, and so on. And that is what they'll do. So that really does actually, in my opinion at least, increase their efficiency, because they're going to be so much more accurate with their strikes and shots that it makes a huge difference. And I think that in general, most of the time when we suffer quite a few casualties, it's either because my archers are too far away, or because I do not know when the archers have been beset upon by a number of... Well, I got murdered. Anyway, by a number of enemy infantry. You know, because as soon as enemy infantry go into range of archers, well, that's pretty much good night to a whole bunch of them, which is obviously not very good. But yeah, I actually ran myself into someone there that was using a piercing attack, probably someone with a relatively large sword using a thrust attack or something like that, and that was the main reason why we had some issues there, because they used my speed on my horse against me. And that's exactly the reason why when I'm in a tournament and I'm fighting someone and they have a spear and I'm on a horse, I generally tend to be extremely cautious in that situation because they're going to be able to take me out very easily. Oh yes, way too easily for my liking. Anyway, 120 renown is our reward for this, 74 influence, and 15 morale. That is pretty good. We did lose 33 units total, but that is really not that big a deal. Anyway, I don't know whether you noticed that, but we actually did defeat another Tetsujin vassal here. And again, what I'm wondering is, should I let her go or should I take her prisoner? Because if I take her prisoner, she's going to be much less useful to the Aserai. But if I don't take her prisoner and maybe I let her go, maybe she'll decide to defect back to the Tetsujin. I actually don't know whether that will be the case, but I'm going to let her go, and maybe what we'll be able to do is maybe in peacetime, maybe I can maybe take advantage of my charm skill, and maybe I can try to persuade a couple of those people to possibly join us. I think that would be really nice, but I'm going to have to give a huge amount, and I'm talking monetary value here, to be able to make that work. So I'm not entirely sure if we'll be able to do it, but I'm willing to give it a go. I'm definitely willing to give it a go. I think someone actually did mention that as well, because we seem to potentially be running out of vassals. I'm not entirely sure whether that is indeed the case. Let me actually take a look. Tetsujin. Alright, now we've still got a decent amount of clans, as you can see right here. Not too bad. We got, you know, the Bear-Toad clan right here with a bunch of people. Oh, this is a... Wow, this is actually an extremely small clan. Hanzo's clan is very small, and Yoshinobu, he's okay, he's okay. And then we have Murasame, and we have same person, Ishida, okay, and then Hideyoshi, and then we have Chitose. Okay, well, that is absolutely fine. I feel like I think we have okay amounts, but I don't think this is going to be very good for that much longer, because as you rightly said in your comment, the amount of territory that we're capturing so far is going to very quickly outgrow the amount of units that we have to protect it, and as a result it's going to be very difficult to maintain our positioning and indeed our control over the entire region. So it might very well make a lot of sense to try and recruit some more vassals by charming them, persuading them, and so on. But I'm not entirely sure if I'll be able to do that, but we'll see. As I say, it's a possibility, and I would very much like to do it. It's just a case of whether I can do it, you know? It's a question of if, not, well, when, I guess. Anyway, let's see what happens here. We've almost taken down the walls. I think I might as well just wait until the walls get taken down at this point, because we're almost there. And we've got another leadership point right here as well. 150 in leadership. There we go. There's Veterans Respect. And okay, now usually I like to converse with you a little bit about some of the perks, because if we provide feedback to the developers, then maybe they'll be like, oh yeah, maybe that doesn't actually make sense, or maybe this is, you know, too powerful, or maybe this is not powerful enough, and so on and so forth. And, you know, all that kind of thing. So that's generally why I like to open a dialogue about certain perk choices. And this is certainly one that I'm kind of interested in. The secondary effect of Citizen Militia is increased morale gain from victories by 20%. Right. So, in other words, you gain more morale from winning battles. Okay, so personally, I don't know why this is even a thing at 150 leadership. I think this is pointless. I don't see the point in this at all, because we have, as you can no doubt see, 100 morale. And I've had 100 morale for a very long time. So, yeah. Morale is maxed out at 100, so there is no point in me having 20% additional morale gain, if you see what I mean. So I will be taking the ability to convert bandits into regular troops so that I might be able to recruit some of these rogues, finally, some of these trained rogues and so on and so forth, into actual good units. And we'll see what they actually level up into in just a second, because I'm kind of interested about that. I don't really care about the looters too much, but I'm going to be giving those to someone else. They go into vagrant bosses. Do the vagrant bosses go into anything else? I'm actually not entirely sure, but I suppose we'll find out in due time. Anyway, I'm going to be speaking to Uluen right here because I would like to inspect her troops. She has a pretty significant amount of troop limit right now, so it would make a lot of sense for me to give her a whole bunch of really, really good units. And I'm talking about looters, of course, and some Aserai, and some Imperials, and I think that's basically it, because I have the ability to level up these rogues now, so I might as well keep them in my army. She's got some pretty good people, actually. She's got some vanguards, some veteran longbowmen, some swordmasters, and so on and so forth. Obviously, they're in the minority for the most part, but that's not too bad. Anyway, I'm going to take some rogue trainers back from her because I am going to be the one that will be able to level them up. So I'm just going to kind of swap them around a little bit. And I'm also going to be speaking to Nogand as well. I'm actually surprised. You know what? I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to jinx it. But I think you kind of... You maybe kind of picked up on what I was about to say there, but anyway, let's see what we can do in the siege. We're almost done, Okay, so there's only one vassal over here with 45 units. Shouldn't be too bad. This is currently being decided upon. Can I get it? Nope, can't get it, so I guess I'll give it to this guy for 100 influence. Anytime I can get more charm skill is always good too, because no doubt we're going to need charm skill to try and persuade some vassals to join us. But without the ability to prevent the vassals from literally just joining and then leaving soon after, no amount of charm skill is really going to make any difference, because I don't think the developers have really made any tweaks to the vassal defection system, because it seems to me in the past that it was basically useless. It was basically useless because every single time you would go to, well, at least from my experience, when I've done it quite a lot in the past, it works very well. However, I had a mod installed that would make it so that the, shall we say, the rate of defection or the chance of defection was related to the amount of relation that that particular vassal had with the player character. And of course, if they hated you, then they would have a pretty decent chance to defect. However, if they liked you, then they had pretty much a very small chance, which is, in my opinion, kind of making sense. However, without that mod installed, because of course the versions do get outdated and then you're no longer able to use that mod, you know, even though it was a favorite of mine, I personally feel like that was probably one of the best that I've seen, because it allows you to pretty much, well, get the vassals that you want and then keep them. And it kind of makes sense, in my opinion. I feel like it kind of makes sense from a thematic standpoint as well, from a gameplay perspective too, because let's face it, there's been so many opportunities where I have gone into a charm situation. I've successfully persuaded a guy. I've paid him like 1,000,000 gold or 500,000 gold. And then, not even a day later, he leaves. And that's exactly what happened, actually, in, I believe, the Pelosaur series, because I had everything as a price at that point, and it was the, amusingly enough, they changed the positioning of everything as a price, because it used to be at skill level 225, I believe, but now it's at skill level 300, because obviously it's very hard to get 300 trade skill without mods. I think someone actually mentioned in the comments very recently that they agree with what I said in that video about trade skill being extremely difficult to level up and maybe even nigh impossible in some cases, because it would be such a boring grind to get there that you would be like, why am I doing this, you know, sort of thing. And I think you said that you got to 1,150 days in the game, and you made it to 300 trade skill, and you said it was very boring. So, well, thanks for confirming that, to be honest, because I've not actually played without a mod that enables the caravan experience, especially for trading, because I personally feel like it is a requirement, especially considering that is what trade skill actually details. It actually says that caravans are supposed to provide you with trade skill bonuses, but the base game does not allow that to happen. So anyway, you spend that much money, and then a day later the guy leaves, and he takes the fief that you gave him with him, and he goes back to his original faction, and you're just like, what? You're left with your mouth agape, and you're like, what? You know, your chin's just hitting the floor, and it's just like, what? What happened? You know, that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about, and that's the reason why vassals defecting in those ways when you have no idea. No! Oh. Well. Okay, well, yes, I think you saw what happened. Very nice. For those of you that are not looking at the screen, because some of you like to listen to the video in like a podcast way, because I do tend to apparently say everything that I do, which is, I suppose, good in that kind of situation. But anyway, for those of you that haven't seen, we lost our surgeon. Yes, we lost our surgeon, and he is now dead. So that is not very good, because I had literally just changed his tag in the clan menu over to surgeon, and now he is no more. And that is indeed it. I can't believe it, to be honest. I can't believe it. All right. Well, that's okay. We're going to fight this person, and we'll try to level up a little bit. Let's do some, a little bit of an auto-resolve here and there. And I'm just going to let our people just take those prisoners if they want to. We're just going to go into the castle here. There we go. Alright, so we're going to vote for the owner of this, and technically I can get it. Do I want it? Well, I think I kind of do. Mainly because I don't trust any of these other guys as far as I can throw them. And of course, because they are indeed video game characters, I will not be able to throw them ever. So, there you go. So now, yes, I suppose I will indeed spend 100 influence to get this over to me, and then I will see what I can do about maybe getting some people in the garrison there. I'm hopeful that... Oh, that was bad. Hideyoshi has just been defeated. Ah, yeah, see? Now, what's happening here is they're actually being defeated by some of the defectors, which is a big problem that we're going to face as time goes on. Okay, so recruit more people, recruit prisoners. I'm not going to do anything else. Garrison training, set the maximum upgrade tier to 3. That's what I'm doing for castles. I'm doing 4 for towns. So I think that's kind of balanced in a few ways. So I'm quite happy to do that. And let's manage the garrison a little bit. As you can see, the garrison is outfitted with a couple of default units, but I'm going to actually be taking a lot of the Tetsujin ones out here to try and resupply my own army. And if this does come under siege, then at the very least I have taken the Tetsujin units, and that's all that really matters to me at this point. I don't really mind too much about these guys being defeated or captured or anything like that. But otherwise, let's just do a little bit of managing. I'm just going to put 20k in here, and there's a whole bunch of construction things that are going to be done, and that is all very well and good. Okay. So, is there anything else that I need to do here? I don't think so. So, I just need to move on now. Alright, there we go. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Okay, so we've been able to consolidate this territory at the very least, as you can see. This actually seems quite a lot better than it used to, but obviously, if you remember previously in the series, the Tetsujin actually used to own Razich and Hubyar and Sahel Castle, Jamya Castle, as well as Kasira, I believe. And then they all, well, they all defected, basically. And that was great. Oh yes, I remember. That was really, really nice. Okay, so let's actually just take a quick look at this guy's army. Does he have any Tetsujin units? He doesn't, by the looks of things. Oh, that's interesting. I actually thought he did. He does have 2 of our vassals in there and a huge amount of troops. Right, okay, this is going to be something that I would like to fight. I have to be very careful about this, though, because I cannot be defeated. If I am defeated, we are going to be in a huge, huge problematic situation because, as I said before, I generally tend to take a lot of Tetsujin vassals, a lot of Tetsujin units out of the garrisons, and I don't really leave them in the garrison. And as a result, that is going to make resupplying and getting my army back up to scratch very, very difficult. So I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with that, but hopefully we will not get taken down. So that is crossing fingers for me. And let's see. How many units do I have knocked unconscious right here? I have so many good units. I think we should be fine to take these guys on. But let's just take a quick look at their composition once more. I didn't really take a good enough look at it. Okay, so they have a lot of wounded right now, which is actually fantastic. And they have so many prisoners. Look at how many prisoners they have. They have 219. I think we probably have to go in straight away, pretty much. I think that is going to be the only way that we will see any kind of victory here. So let's just level up these people. Anyone else that wants to join us? Yep, there we go. Join me. And these guys go into vagrant bosses, and the vagrant bosses level up into nothing. But what do they have in terms of skills? Actually, pretty good skills. They seem to be horse archers, so that's quite nice. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, so they're trying to take back that castle. Right. Okay, well, I'm not going to allow them to do that. Thank you very much. So let's do this. I'm going to go straight on in here. Okay, so we seem to have the advantage in terms of combat strength. Yeah, very slightly. Alright, so I've sorted out my units in a relatively nice pattern here. As you can see, the enemy's cavalry is attempting to perform some kind of flanking action. Hopefully that's not going to stop us from doing what we need to do here. And I'm going to get my infantry into a nice shield wall formation and move them into the front of our archers. As you can see, the archers are all in a really nice loose formation. It is allowing them the utmost kill zones. And hopefully they're going to be able to completely tear apart the opponent while our cavalry deals... Oh, hello. I was going to say, well, our cavalry deals with the enemy's cavalry. But here's the enemy's cavalry. Where's my cavalry? I have no idea. They seem to be somewhat useless. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing, but okay. Ah, here we go. There they come now. Okay, I guess that's fine then. Really need to get a Naginata. I really do need to get a Naginata. That is going to be so much nicer for me. Slashing polearms have always been really nice for me. I like them a lot. I feel like they are super fun to use, and I am not very good at the thrusting mechanics or anything like that with these things. But maybe I can do a little bit of couching here and there. This guy, yeah, oh, okay. I took him off his mount. I guess that's good enough for now, I guess. But we seem to be doing all right so far. As you can see, most of our cavalry are, I think, okay. I think they've chased off the enemy's cavalry now. So they're going to come back and try to help us out a little bit here. And, wow, there's a lot going on. I don't even know what to say right now. There's just a huge amount going on. A lot of people running in, running around. But we're winning. We're actually winning. Primarily because of our archers, I believe. Our archers were placed in such a nice place. That's the reason why I decided, hey, you know what? I'm just going to try and concentrate in the first... Ow. Okay, that hurt. That would have been a kill, by the way, on maximum difficulty damage modifier. I'm currently playing on 2/3 because we were just dying from random headshots over and over again. And that was just not very entertaining, not very fun, and generally became a little bit tedious. So that's the reason why I removed that kind of penalty being so harsh, you know. And I would have died from that. And I mean, I'm not particularly being reckless right now. I'm just running around, trying to get a couple of little pokes in here and there. And it's not really making that much difference. Seems like the opponent is... Oh, now that was nice. Oh, that was good. I was thinking to myself, it seems like the opponent's kind of staying away from me right now, but no, there we go. We actually got a really nice poke in that guy's neck. That was good. Alright, so we actually dealt with a significant sized army. I'm actually really surprised. Anyway, I didn't tell my archers to charge in this time because I was very, very worried about how many units were in and amongst them. And if I were to charge at that point, then they would switch to their melee weapons and start fighting and be much less effective in combat. So thankfully, we are done. We are done with that. And we ended up losing a bunch of units, but that's not a big deal. You know why? Oh yes, there's going to be some really, really fun things happening here. Alright, so I can take this guy prisoner or I can let him go. I think I'm probably just going to let him go. I'm going to let her go. All of these are just Aserai vassals. I think I can probably deal with them relatively nicely. This is the Sultan himself, however. I'm actually wondering whether I should take him prisoner or not at this point. Because if I take him prisoner, he's not going to be able to form a very large army for a while. And I think that's pretty good. However, without mods that give you control over how long prisoners are going to stay with you, I think Bannerlord Tweaks actually has something about that, but I'm not entirely sure if it really works for me, because I think I've had it before and it didn't really seem to do much. But we'll see what happens this time. I'm going to take him prisoner. I'm not going to do anything with him. I'm literally just going to take him prisoner and see what happens. See how long it takes him to actually escape. We're going to be taking all of those troops, and I will be taking any of the Tetsugen units that they have. They don't have any? Wow. Okay. They don't have any. I'm not going to take any prisoners here because I am kind of a bit worried about... Oh, wow. They lost a very major vassal right there. That is a major, major loss for them. That is actually pretty crazy. Okay, well, we're pretty good. We're pretty good. I am happy with this, and what we're going to do is with all of these new units that we've just gained from rescuing them, we're going to be giving those to our friends in the other armies here, and hopefully they're going to have enough space to take them all, to be honest. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to give Aserai. Just going to give basically all Aserai and other kinds of units first, and then any leftover Tetsugen and any leftover space, then I will give them those. So let's see what else we can do here. These guys. Alright, so we've got 104 right now. Let's do a couple of these. And I think that should be good. Alright. And do I have enough space now? I don't think so. I think we're still over the cap. No, we're actually not. Oh, I'm actually surprised about that. Oh, okay. Well, I don't think he really needs any people, actually. So, I guess it's fine. I guess I don't need to give him any, I guess. Seems okay. Alright, pretty good. And now we can go back into Razzie right here, and we can just rest up and relax. Okay, now let me see. Do I have any prisoners here? Yeah, I do have a couple. This guy obviously is going to want to stay with us. Main reason why I didn't want to actually sell the prisoners is because I have a bunch of these, and I might be able to put them into one of my garrisons and then maybe have them be persuaded through that system with improved garrisons. I don't know whether they are able to persuade tier 6 units, though. I don't think that is the case, but I'm kind of hoping, you know, cross fingers, maybe hope that we can take advantage of it a little bit. But it's not going to really make that much difference in the end, I don't think. There's only 10 units or so there. Anyway, I think I'm probably going to have one of my castles come under siege relatively soon. Probably this one over here. I wouldn't be surprised whether someone wants to try and take that, because it probably doesn't have a very significant garrison right now. Why are all of our people getting taken prisoner by this one guy? I'm actually not sure which one that is. That's the problem with them having the same name. Is it this guy? I should really execute one of them, to be honest, so that we know for sure that one of them is not actually running around then. Yeah, I have no idea which one it actually is. So that's quite confusing, isn't it? Anyway, I think that's probably going to be it for this episode. And I thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you next time.